Hi, everybody. It is Friday, March 11th. I'm going to do a couple of readings this weekend, starting today. So, we've got a lot of interesting aspects happening astrologically, and I don't know if you've been feeling what everybody's been feeling, but some of those feelings are um, purging. Again, there's a feeling of purging, and it's a different kind of purging than what happened back in September, October, November. It's very different. There's a smoothness to it. If an emotion could have a viscosity, this is like gel, it's that kind of feeling. And we're the 11th, so we were a week away from this full moon in Virgo. And we've also got Mercury in Pisces. And yeah, it's just a lot of forward movement, smoother forward movement. It's not rushing forward, nothing's catapulting us forward. If you're in my class, if we go back like 3 weeks, the card of the week 3 weeks ago was the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Discs. And that involved, it's usually a card about money and having abundance, having more abundance than just getting by. The downside of that card is, and you know that I don't read reversals, it's just another layer to the energy. One of the things with that card is to caution you against hoarding or being stingy or miserly, to not be generous or forthcoming with something. It also goes into your relationships and love. Are you calculating how much you give to somebody? Well, I've given you this many loves and you're only giving me this much back. And so it was finding that balance in all those things that we do to give freely, but not to overextend yourself. Give freely without expectation. Give freely, not for the purpose of people pleasing. If you're going to give, and don't expect anything. And at the same time, trust in the higher vibration, which is universal reciprocity. So trying to find that sweet spot between all of those things was very critical to the Four of Pentacles. Interestingly enough, the card for the following week was the Six of Pentacles. So this was last week. Six of Pentacles talks about divine reciprocity. So it does say that all of that stuff that you put out there, it may not come back to you through the direct exchange. I give to you, now you give to me. It's like I give to you, but I may receive something beneficial coming from some other source. It might not even be a person, it might just be a situation. So it's more like karma. Now, this past week, yesterday, the card of the week, I always do it on Thursday, was Temperance. And Temperance also talks about reciprocity. When we look at the card, I wonder if I can just find it somewhere. Here, of course, now that I'm not going to find it right now, but I will describe it to you, and you can always go look it up. Temperance has certain symbolism in it, kind of across the board in every deck, most decks. There is a triangle, which is a symbol for fire. There's a Sagittarius symbol somewhere in there. It's about divine timing. It's about patience. There's usually lilies or daffodils or irises. Most commonly, you'll find lilies, so that's a sign of purity. Again, it's a divine symbol. It's an angelic symbol. There's usually an angel in the card or something that looks angelic, wings. If it's not a full angel, there's usually a halo and wings and things like that. And there's often all the elements are represented in there somewhere: water and earth and air and fire. So there's finding balance within that. And it's a number 5 card. It's number 14, actually, in the major arcana. So we come from death, which is 13, just before it, which is death and rebirth. And then we move into this angelic energy of temperance. And then the following card is the devil. And so 14 reduces down to a 5. And 5s are usually struggles and challenges in the minor arcana. So all of the 5s are, they're all petty because they're minor, but they're irritations, aggravations, little struggles and squabbles. You try and say that. And when you get into the major arcana, you've got the Hierophant as number 5, and it's a highly elevated feeling across the board. So whether it's higher education, higher spirituality, higher love relationship. So we've transcended all that pettiness of the challenges and struggles that the minor arcana 5s have. And then we get up to 14. 14 is a 5. And it's also a 7 and a 7, really. And so when you think about that, that's like the Chariot. So it's a lot of trust in the universe, divine timing, transcending certain things, angelic energy, purity, cleansing. There's not really a negative aspect to temperance. If it's representing, when I just say representative and representing, I just made a new word up. If it's representative of a person, it's usually somebody who's calm and balanced and unencumbered by lots of other things that hinder a lot of people. Okay, so that is this energy that we're having this week, starting kind of yesterday, going leading up to this full moon. And this full moon it's giving us this ability to transcend a lot of things. And so that's kind of the feeling of the purging that's going on. It's not so much that rough purging that we were doing 6-7 months ago. This is a purging of like just elevating yourself to this higher level. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to do a collective reading just on that energy of finding balance between all of these things. Of course, 5 of Cups. I just said it. All the 5s. Okay. Crying over spilt milk. A little bit is that vibe. Okay, let's see. Ooh. Okay. It's a interesting follow up from the class that I taught yesterday. Okay, so the first card is this 5 of Cups energy here. And like I said, all the 5s have this pettiness to them, and there's some kind of challenge and some kind of irritation and something kind of childlike or childish or just annoyances, things like that, not really seeing the full thing, kind of a whiny, complaining kind of vibe. And the 5 of Cups, it always shows the 2 and the 3 like this. There's some missed opportunity and there's something else still here. And the focus is over here of maybe feeling like a victim, feeling let down, not being able to see that you still have some options here. In fact, you have more than what you've lost. Okay. And so that's the underlying feeling. So as we're moving through this month where nothing is retrograde, that feeling of the 5 of Cups is sort of letting us know, like, what did you think it was going to be when you cleared stuff? It was all going to be like magical rainbows and pixie dust. That's not what it is. And so when you let something go, you actually have to let it go. You don't go look at it again. You move on to the 3 cups that you still have, and you go and you say, well, I've got 3 great cups here full of stuff. And then we've got the King of Wands. We're moving into this, we're transitioning out of Pisces on that full moon. We'll be wrapping up Pisces and moving into Aries and the equinox. And the equinoxes have similar energy, spring and fall. And it's spring for us here in the northern hemisphere, and we're moving into Aries, that fire energy, that very strong, powerful, masculine emperor-like energy. And so moving into that, it's not full of fluff and pixie dust. It's strong, and it's creative, and it's determined, and it's forceful. It's just not necessarily aggressive. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It's to discern what is aggressive versus assertive. Okay. And this is what we're transcending. All the pain, those, you actually have the ability to do this time, at this moment. So that is all of that ache and pain and suffering and trauma and drama and everything that's been going on forever, and especially in the last year, and especially in the last 6-7 months. You get to let that go with one big yelp. Okay, and then we have the King of Swords here. This is the king of, with foresight and intellect and far-reaching, clear-sightedness, level-headedness. So this is the way you want to move forward. So we've been going through this energy recently that was very, very much trying to embody the Empress energy. As we wind down the astrological year, Pisces is the end. It is all of the signs together. It's like the oldest sign of the zodiac. It's like the wiser, more spiritual aspect. And everything has a season. So as we transition from this winter to spring over here, that feminine into, okay, we've been gestating, right? We've been talking about this for a long time, this feeling of gestation, where you can't rush things. And the Empress card in so many of the decks shows like a pregnant woman. Sometimes there's it'll show a baby, a fetus in there, but sometimes it shows the world or the earth or some other symbol there. And it's about something that takes a certain amount of time, that can't be rushed. And it's passive, but there's a whole lot of stuff going on. And so, again, we have a king. We have 2 kings out of 5 cards here. And it's moving into that masculine energy. We have to receive and we have to act. We have to receive and we have to act. There's a time to take action, and there's a time to be more passive or creative, right-brained. Okay. And then it's the 6 of Swords. And it's funny because I did talk about this in my class. We don't record those classes, but I spoke about this card, although it didn't show up at the time, because in one of the decks, there is the symbol for temperance. There is a little rabbit and a little turtle at the bottom. So we don't know how fast or slow something's going to be. And the 6 of Swords is sort of escaping certain difficulties. It's being able to, this is what it's saying, is that you are able to transcend. If you want to transcend all the feelings that have been happening, all the things that have been happening, the way you've been feeling, the negative emotions that are still clinging onto you, that you're still allowing to persist, now is the time that you can actually let that go. We did the new moon reading at the beginning of the month, where it was saying, you know, set those intentions forth, because by the time that full moon comes, and by the time the next, you know, when that full cycle goes 6 months from now, that period of time allows you to fully release something and fully develop what it is that you've set forth. But even within this month, as we have nothing retrograde, it's the perfect time to really decide, okay, can I really let this go? If I let this go, what happens? And the universe is providing you with, like, yes, good, great, you let it go. Here, reward. That's what it's doing. Okay. I'm going to put those back, and I'm going to shuffle this again. So think about the things that you're still holding on to, that you find difficult to balance. You're not going to get it right on the first shot. This is a full moon in Virgo. It's a full moon, so it's still got all those elements of the moon, all these watery, deep, emotional things. And then we've got this Virgo energy that wants everything to be perfect and lined up, and all the boxes checked. And we have to allow ourselves to experience this. It's going to show up however it shows up. It's not going to be perfect. We have to get over that striving for perfection and just continue to strive for something better than we did previously. Self-worth is not attached to perfection. It's like huge progress happening here. This is really nice. So Judgment and the Ace of Swords. It's clear, like, and there's our Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. It's all balancing out, but you have to, if you take action now in the direction that you want, for the things that will ultimately fulfill you, your mission, your life's purpose, sharing the gifts that you were given, it flows. It flows really easily. And you don't have to worry about making mistakes. You will make mistakes. It's a given. It's not supposed to hinder you. You're supposed to go, oh, okay, I won't do that way next time. So we'll keep going, striving for optimization, efficiency, whatever it is. But they're progressive things. And in this deck, we've got the Fool 2.0. So it's coming full circle. The Four of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, the World, 10 of Cups, you know. Oh, here we go. Knight of Wands and the Emperor. Okay, I'm not going to keep going back there, but it's all supporting that energy. Like I said, it's moving into, it's transitioning out of the feminine energy, and we're moving into that Aries season. So as Pisces winds down, it's like, okay, we're ready to, you can't be in harvest mode all the time. You can't be in action mode all the time. You can't be awake all the time. You can't be asleep all the time. You know, you can't be eating all the time. You can't be exercising all the time. Everything, it needs to balance out. And so that's what's happening with that energy. Okay, I'm going to switch over. So that deck is the, oops, Curious Creatures Tarot by Chris Ann. And this one is the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. Just see what happens here. And as you know, I don't read reversals. Sometimes I do a full spread. Sometimes I just see what flies out at me, because we're in a certain bubble of energy when I do these. stickler. Very Piscean energy here. King of Water. These are very shiny, I'm sorry. Okay, King of Water. So far we have all this very masculine energy. So that's three of the four. That's the King of Cups. So the only one we haven't had yet is the King of Pentacles, or discs, or in this case, Earth. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, this is interesting. Okay, so Piscean energy is the King of Cups, King of, or Queen of, in this deck it's water. So King and Queen of Water, Piscean energy. That's what we have. So it's so interesting because it is that connecting of the divine masculine and divine feminine. These are divine counterparts. And what is here between them is the Hangman, which is, again, Pisces energy. And the Hangman, and I've said this before, the Hangman energy is not negative. It's a pause. So when you combine this with that feeling of temperance, it's every delay prospers you. So don't get frustrated. Don't fall into that Five of Cups energy of like, oh, I've been working so hard. I'm putting these 5 cups there, and look at 2 of them have spilt. 2 of them were meant to spill. That's basically what it's saying. Now, the other card that's popped up here is the Tower. And in this case, I really feel like this is a pleasant surprise. I don't feel that this is something devastating. There's nothing negative in any of these cards. So when the Tower shows up like that, it's usually like something that you didn't expect. And when you look at the color scheme of all of these, look at this. Everything is watery and sunny. And a lot of that, look at that blue and yellow. Right now, blue and yellow. There's a certain flag that is that color right now. So, you know, maybe embody that peace and harmony, finding balance within that situation is maybe happening in some fashion this week as well. And I couldn't help but be drawn to that color in there. Okay, so what else? What else do we need to know about finding balance and harmony over the next 7 days? Sorry, this one is just sticking out. The Emperor. We're getting ready. We're getting ready for that. So the divine feminine is getting ready for the divine masculine to show up in whatever way that means for you. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there because I think that's it. I think that's what it is. The fact that we're in this Pisces season and the Pisces king and queen show up as a couple with the Hangman in between. So there's still a delay. There's this divine masculine energy coming forward, but there's still a delay. There's still, you know, imagine 2 boats, sort of, if you've ever been in a boat and tried to steer it or line it up to a dock or something. It's not the easiest thing to do. It's not like driving a car. You have to take into account lots of different things. And especially imagine pulling 2 boats up together, like 2 canoes. You're going to try and line them up without them bumping into each other. There's a point where they're moving together, but then the water itself is doing something, and you have to kind of let them, you know, and then settle. So this is it's very intriguing to me. And as usual, I'm going to pull a couple of runes. I always say I'm going to pull one, which I don't think I've ever pulled just one rune. So let's see what shows up. need. Oops, goes like this. It's like this. Straight line with a diagonal through it. Fehu. Okay, maybe one more. Didn't you know that? Awesome. This is awesome. Okay, so we've got need. These are things. There's a bit of a delay. So there's the things that you want. You want things to unfold in a certain way, and the universe goes, no, if you really want what it is that you want, the big picture idea, the feeling, the emotion, the vibration, then we're not going to do it your way because we're the universe and we know better. And so they give you something that you need, not that you want, and you get disappointed. 5 of Cups. Don't feel that, because what you've actually got is Fehu, which is cattle, but it's wealth. It's abundance. It's the type of wealth that regenerates itself. It's mobile. It takes on a life of its own. And then moving forward, and this is fantastic for the equinox vibe, it's Dag. Pardon my nails, I was scrubbing pots. Dag is dawn, and it's breakthrough. It's illumination beyond just like a bonfire or a light. It is the break of dawn, breaking forward, moving into that next space. Brighter days, better days. Yeah, nothing else I can say about that. Now, I'll reach back here. Okay. Whoa. Shuffle these. These are the Spirit Oracle deck. There's always so much reflecting there. Okay. Any last messages? Okay. There we go. Inspiration. And it says, your love, light, and wisdom touch the hearts and minds of many. You will be instrumental in helping another person change the course of their life. Miracles, inspiration, and healing result. I don't feel like that's a message for everyone. That is a very specific message, and it's kind of hurting right there. That is really not for everyone, that message. That is a limited one. Okay, I'm going to wrap this one up, and I'm going to do a couple more readings over the weekend. I'm not going to do all the individual signs yet because the energies they're too blended. But what I might do later, I'm feeling compelled to do one that is kind of like one card for every sign in this energy. That's something new. And then I'm going to do another one that is more about the love stuff, divine masculine, divine feminine, very specifically. And there's a link in the description box for the month of March Astro Tarot forecast. It's usually 90 minutes, and I do that one with Millie. So please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff.